In this true crime story right here, the justice system failed on so many levels. It's just insane. And lives are lost because of it. A child's life is lost. It's truly sickening and just so hard to even understand or comprehend, because I just don't understand how this could happen. The system just flat out failed this family, and it's just shocking and appalling.
It's been a very difficult week for the Edgewater community, mourning the loss of 11-year-old Jaden Perkins. His mother, his pregnant mother, still being treated here at St. Francis Hospital. She and her unborn child are expected to survive, according to prosecutors. Meanwhile, we saw those family members gathering near the scene tonight for a candlelight vigil. The Perkins family gathering tonight with heavy hearts as they honor the life of Jaden Perkins, who was stabbed to death Wednesday inside his home. As Jaden's pregnant mother recovers from critical injuries, the 37-year-old suspect, Corsetti Brand, faced a judge today in a courtroom filled with emotion and frustration. Some of the victim's family members even tried charging the suspect, leading deputies in the courtroom to intervene and arrest some people. Before the hearing, Chicago's police superintendent talking about the devastating case.
This mom's life is now forever changed. Along with being brutally attacked, stabbed multiple times, dealing with that trauma, she has to face the fact that she will never see, touch, hug her 11-year-old son.
Brand faces multiple felony charges, including first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, and home invasion. He was released from prison on parole just hours before the attack. Prosecutors say the mother started to open her apartment door, and the suspect then forced his way in, then stabbing the child and his mother.
This was not just a vicious and violent attack on an 11-year-old boy and his mother. It was an assault on the very fabric of our community.
Court records show Brand has a prior home invasion conviction and previously violated multiple orders of protection, including an order of protection in place with the woman Brand allegedly stabbed. Police say the mother and Brand had a relationship about 15 years ago, but would not provide any more details. Brand was denied bond today in court, so he'll remain behind bars as he awaits trial. The pregnant mother had another younger son who was home at the time of this attack. We're told that boy was not injured. On a bright side to end tonight, the community has come together behind this family to support them with a fundraiser that's already surpassed more than $50,000.
What a sad, sad story. Just like I said, sickening. This guy is just simply a monster. Corsetti Brand is his name. And as I'm talking about how the system just failed this family on so many levels, someone needs to be held accountable for it. But it'll never happen. You know, I don't mean to sound negative, but when it comes to court system, the police, it feels like those individuals, when they mess up or they break the rules, they break the laws, they never pay for it. The worst individuals ever seem to really get is forced into resigning. Sometimes, very rarely, in a small percentage, police may pay if the circumstances are just so outlandish and there's no way around it, you know. But we're talking more in this instance about the court, the justice system, the district attorney, the judge. As I stated, they just failed these people, the community. It's just disgusting. And, you know, to add insult to injury on top of it all, this monster Corsetti Brand at his court hearing, the family, victims, family, apologies, y'all. I just am so shocked by all this and truly sad, and it's hard to even put it all together and talk to you guys on this, right? But the family, the victims, was in court and charged at this monster, and they were arrested. Now, some will say, well, that's the law, you know, and you might see a clip playing in this video from the Larry Nassar trial. If you're not familiar, he was a doctor, had something to do with like gymnasts, I think like Olympian gymnast team or something like that. And he was another pure sick monster who violated a bunch of girls, young girls. And during the court proceedings, one of the victims' fathers was there. And, you know, he later shared that he didn't even intend to be a part of it all, to go in there. He just wanted to support his daughter, as obviously he was beside himself, as crimes and stuff like that really send a shockwave through families and through communities, like obviously we know that the victims are hurt firsthand, and RIP to this young man, Jaden Perkins. In this case that we're talking about, he's a hero. He tried to save his mother, and we got more to get to about that, so just stay tuned. That is just purely unbelievable, once again, just how bad the system failed. But this trauma goes through the families, through the communities, and in this instance, at this Larry Nassar trial, when the father was there and heard his daughter give her victim impact statement and everything, if you guys didn't ever see it, I'll share a link to a video about it below. You can go check it out if you want to. He stood up to say something and just was so overcome with the hurt, the pain, the evil that these monsters put out into the atmosphere, and just hurt people and traumatize everyone and just add more evil to this earth that we're living on. He asked the judge, could he have a moment with the, monster that violated his child? And she was like, obviously, I can't do that. And he said, just a minute, just 30 seconds, just 15 seconds or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. And then he charged at him. And, the bailiffs stopped him, ended up restraining him and putting him in cuffs. I don't think that I could do that. I'm keeping it real. Comment everyone out there if you were the police officer in court, you were the bailiff, if you would be able to stop these people. Like these monsters sit there and do the evil things they do, and then they're in court and you have to protect them. I just don't think that I could do it. But long story short, he was restrained for a little while, and when the judge called them back up, she was like, we have to use our words and everything, and he apologized to the court and just purely said, I couldn't not try to attack this guy. There was like, he said he was truly sorry. He could not conduct himself, and she ended up letting him go. Now, in this situation, it's being reported, and I don't have the specifics on this, that individuals in court were charged. Again, I don't have the specifics. There's not a lot of info out there. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, join the discussion in the comments, and stay tuned for updates. We're going to try to cover this more, because this injustice, once again, is just so truly ludicrous, ridiculous. And it's on a level where you almost are like, are they partially accountable? I mean, obviously this monster Corsetti brand, he did what he did. But, we're going to continue to just show you guys how they could have quite possibly stopped all this evil from happening, but like seriously, this is on another level and it needs to be exposed and discussed more. But the victim's family were charged or arrested, and we have to find out I hope that they got the same treatment like that father did in the Larry Nassar case, where they were taken into custody and maybe released, because it is just so appalling how bad the system messed up. You pretty much, or you are, in my opinion, and let me know if you guys out there agree, negligent, partially responsible. Again, the court didn't do these evil, disgusting acts, but they could have stopped it, and they failed. And we're going to get more into that right now.
Questions tonight after a 37-year-old with a lengthy criminal record is charged in that Edgewater attack that killed 11-year-old Jaden Perkins and injured his pregnant mother.
Prosecutors say the suspect was caught on surveillance video tossing a knife and his ex-girlfriend's phone. NBC5's Randy Gyllenhaal takes a closer look at a community in mourning as they try to understand how this person was ever allowed to be paroled.
In Edgewater, balloons and messages in chalk for 11-year-old Jaden Perkins, a bright star who loved dance and music, killed while protecting his family from a man just let out of prison.
Let me start by saying this is something that should have never happened.
Chicago police and the state's attorney announcing murder charges against Corsetti Brandt, the ex-boyfriend of Jaden's mother.
I don't have a good answer for that.
But unable to answer why he was just granted parole despite repeated threats against the family.
Questions that need to be examined and truthfully answered.
This is someone who should not have been on the street.
Court records show a long history of domestic violence targeting the boy's mother. She repeatedly filed orders of protection and notified authorities of threats, yet Brandt was still granted parole.
Was just paroled from prison the day before he brutally attacked his family.
Weeks before the attack, the boy's mother filed this order of protection citing new threats, writing in February, he came to my house trying to break into my apartment, and in January, he sent me several text messages saying he would kill me and my family, but a Cook County judge denied the request.
NBC5's Randy Gyllenhaal reporting domestic violence groups encourage people to file protection orders, but they also say police and the courts need to do more to protect victims. NBC5 has reached out to the Illinois Prisoner Review Board, which makes those parole decisions. They have not responded to our request for comment tonight.
All right, so you hear all that. Can you believe that, guys? Can you believe this individual, Corsetti Brand, was released just a day before committing this just evil crimes, killing this young man, attempting to kill the pregnant mother who has survived? You see there's I don't think it's a GoFundMe, or maybe it is, it's some kind of fundraiser going on online. At the time that the news was picking this up, it was at like 50,000. Last I checked, it was above 77,000. I'll share the link below for you guys to go tap into that, and anyone out there wants to donate. But you heard what they said. This mother, who sounds like a great person, she worked in the education at an elementary school as a recess coach, working with the kids. Reportedly the kids loved her. She transitioned into the medical field, and apparently at some point in time, she ended up getting involved with this evil bastard. And it's a terrible thing. And everyone out there, be very, very careful who you socialize with, who you allow in your life. You see a situation like this where you're like, oh, this family, a nice mother, loving mother. The son obviously was a RIP to him. Obviously he was a good kid and he is a hero. He tried to save his mom's life. You hear all this and you're like, how could she get involved with a just pure real life demon like this, who had been convicted of home invasion before, stealing a woman's car, domestic stuff, sentenced to 16 years. And you'll see all this different stuff from these appellate court hearings where he was trying to appeal in another instance, where he got sentenced to this 16 years and 3 years. 3, I think, for the stolen car, 16 for the home invasion, and it was ran concurrently. So he just did 16, but he was trying to argue, if these Facebook messages where he used to intimidate and threaten the victim, how can they prove it's really him? And he showed up to her job. He showed up to her house. He said things to her like, this is just the beginning. Just because this woman wanted to break up with him. And you want to hear another part that is just purely unbelievable, that this is all out there and this guy was released, and the victim here now recovering in this hospital, fighting to live. She was on the phone with her mother when it all went down, and the mom heard the screams. Can you imagine all this evil just happened, and the court had the power to put more protection in place? This woman went to the court and pleaded, he's been threatening me still. And even with all this, you see he was picked up on a parole. This is all just within the last couple of months, from February till now, picked up on a parole violation, let back out, and all this. And she's pleading with the court, and you see what happened. He went directly over to her house within 24 hours of being released, and just broke in there and killed this young man, this hero, and attempted to take more lives. And in this other instance that you see here, like I said, it's all documented, even that he was trying to argue in this appeal in this other court case that they couldn't really prove that he was armed, as the allegations were that he entered the home, and he was convicted on all this, again, sentenced to 16 years and 3 years ran concurrently, and broke into this woman's house after threatening her on multiple occasions, just like in this situation where he killed this hero, an 11-year-old's son. In this other situation, he broke into the house, said to be armed, and put a gun to the mother's chin and also threatened her 15-year-old son. So just on top of that, he had been convicted like stuff like this before. It was an exact same situation where he threatened another child, and the court didn't grant this woman's request to give her more protection and to give her a further order. And how about him being released on monitoring? You know, like, did they not know that he left the home? It just makes no sense. It's just disgusting, and the justice system has to do better. You know, there's all kind of conversations that go on all the time about, you know, the court process and prison and, you know, America, the prison industry, all the money behind it. Can criminals be rehabilitated? Getting certain people with substance issues, treatment programs and stuff like that. That's all one side of the coin in one debate. And those are real conversations that need to be had for show. But I'm saying in a situation like this, there is no rehabilitating this individual. He is pure evil. He did all this before, including threatening a child. In this situation, he took it a step further and killed the child. Some of these violent criminals are just demons and evil. And that's what's going on here. And the court knew all this and dropped the ball. But like I said, with this ankle monitor or electric monitoring or whatever it was, more should have been done. I get it. There's sentences. You can't just keep someone in prison beyond their date or whatever. I understand, but more needed to be done in some way. This guy had committed these kinds of crimes before against families, against children. He continued to threaten these people, and he got out and did what he did, and the family once again was pleading with him, and they had the proof, and somehow this guy's just getting in and out of jail on parole violations like it's nothing. And then on top of it all, can you believe that they have him on surveillance footage on the train, I believe after this crime went down. They have him running, throwing a knife, and they have him meeting up with his mother where she brought him a bag of clothes. Now, they ended up getting some kind of clothes that still had blood on them, and you know, those clothes are with the authorities and being tested in the lab. But this is just all crazy. The judge not granting her request, and the fact that this guy just went in and out of custody and this all happened. You know, I mean, I know I'm probably repeating myself a bit, but I'm just in utter shock and disbelief behind all this. We live in this era with all this technology, like we were talking about monitoring and, you know, location. They can locate people on phones. There's satellites and all this stuff. Don't get me all into that. That's a whole nother conversation where if technology truly wanted to be used to fight crime, we could, I don't want to say have a crime-free society, but so much more could be utilized to find people. Missing people could be found and more crimes could be solved. But that's a whole nother convo. Once again, there's algorithms, there's all this different stuff, and you know, it's just insane that none of that set off any kind of red flags in the system and said, this guy is not fit for society. This family is scared. This guy is a danger. He's gonna kill somebody. And then, as I stated a little earlier, you got the victims' families getting arrested at court because they lose their cool. And I really am going to try to dig and find more out about that. I only hope that they were treated the same way as in that Larry Nassar case when they let that father go. I'm not advocating for people to attack people in court, but this family and this kid, once again, RIP to him, Jaden Perkins, he's a hero. They were failed. And it's just on another level, as I said. The system's got to do better. They are accountable somewhat in this situation, I would say. So with that, I'm going to close this video out. Oh, one more thing I wanted to add. Everyone, please don't comment and let me know your thoughts. I wanted to say earlier in the video when I was saying you look at a woman like this and how did she get involved with this guy? And it seems every female who got involved with this guy was threatened and attacked and intimidated and stuff like that. In no way was I you know, because I said, watch who you socialize with, watch who you allow in your life. I wasn't in any way trying to say that's this victim's fault or anything like that. I was just pointing out that, you know, the old saying, a wolf in sheep's clothing. A lot of these individuals who treat women this way are very, very manipulative and fool everyone and run all this game. And by the time the people realize really what time it is and what's going on, this creep, you know, already has their hooks into the victim and they can't get them out of their life. And as you see, even after individuals go to jail, they're still not safe. So that's going to do it for this one. Stay tuned for the updates. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more true crime content. And again, the link pinned below to the video, you can go check out about the Larry Nassar thing, you know, where the father of the victim attacked or attempted to attack Nassar in court. Again, could you do that? Could you be a bailiff and protect these scumbags? I think if that was my job somehow, I'd have to be moving extra slow that day. Oh, he got by me, you know, let him get a couple hits in at least. And also the link to the fundraiser. As a lot of money has been raised, that is good that people are giving, you know, but lives were lost. A child, an 11-year-old hero's life was lost. A mother is in the hospital. Her mother, the grandmother, heard the attack over the phone. People are dead and people are traumatized, and no monetary value can even begin to, I mean, obviously money doesn't fix anything, but it can't do anything really, you know? I mean, it helps the family and they'll need that money as their life is never going to be the same. But I don't know. Thanks for watching. I'm out of here. Be safe, everyone, and stay focused. There's a battle going on out here between good and evil. What side are you on?